Howdy.
Welcome to episode 3. Butch, how are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. How are you, Matt? Or Chase Love Fun, as some people call you?
Some people call me. Uh, I'm superb is the word I would like to submit. Have you had any?
You always you
I
always
do.
come up with interesting words that I would never say in real life unless I'm talking to you, or it's wonderful.
I try to present myself as more sophisticated than maybe I really am. Occasionally I find
It's
myself
working.
using the wrong word. What was one? Obnoxious. Obnoxious is a relatively common word. Did you know that it actually means it has something to do with your scent, right? Like it needs to be you're like a smelly or like there's an odor to it. It's I had used it kind of more like cantankerous or kind of an annoying person. I was saying they were obnoxious. I was like,
I,
that's
I
an
mean, I've always heard
incorrect
it
use.
referred to as like annoying, somebody who's
Uh,
obnoxious, but it means somebody who smells bad for real.
yeah, in some way odious. Yeah, I believe was the at least the definition I found. Who knows?
Interesting.
Common
The
use
more, the more
may
you know,
prevail.
Rainbow.
There you go. Hey, have you had any fun hog moments in the past week?
Yes, I have.
Tell us more.
This past week, I got to participate in one of my son's activities. He had a friend who's a connector. He's like probably a glitter person that tries to connect a lot of people, and he's organized these game days for a lot of the youth at church. So he invited my kids out, my sons, and they were playing ultimate frisbee. So I buckled up, tied on the shoelaces, pulled them tight so they're not slipping around, and got out there and played a couple points. And I think I surprised some of the young folk out there. It was like, "Whoa, you can really throw the disc!" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got the throws. I don't have the ups. I don't have the speed, but I can put the disc anywhere you want it on the field." So a lot of fun. It's a lot of sweat. I'm still way out of shape, but we're going to try to play some more of that coming this summer.
Love it, man. Ultimate. What a great sport. It's tricky to get the competitive dials just right in ultimate. Like it's really fun to play in leagues where everybody's trying to be competitive. Casual games. Sometimes there's just like a few people who are going too hard, and there's just especially if you got beginners who like can't throw or can't throw a flick. Let's say it's just
For,
challenging to
for
kind of.
those of you that don't know what a flick is, he's referring to the forehand where you forehand it. This is the backhand. This is a forehand or a flick.
Flick, yeah. I say I know the cool words, but not because I can do it. I'm scared to death to throw a flick in a game. I mean, I try it from time to time, but it never quite goes exactly the way I want it to in
Little
games.
floppy.
I'm more of I get a good amount of spin, but mine just don't level out very much. So I get kind of the big hook, or just I'm
You get the
very
angle, the the,
yeah
the
I'm off.
slicer.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Nice.
kind of my jam.
Well, do you have a fun hug moment?
Indeed, I do. This has been in the works for about 4 months and was super excited to pull it off. So, my dad, a little background context, my dad has played trumpet since he was a little boy. So, I mean, tiny little guy, I don't know what age he picked it up, maybe third grade, was relatively proficient at it. My grandfather was a music minister. And so, dad kind of grew up in the church and, kind of constantly participating in choir and orchestras and whatnot. And, did it his entire life. He played in high school, he was in college bands, and it was kind of the prime era for just kind of cool time to be in a band. So he was in some cool bands. And most of my childhood, I knew him as, he would play at church every Sunday, and occasionally he would do a wedding. But the last couple of years, he's kind of reunited with some of his old band mates, which is funny. Their band name's Reunion, so uh, that's reunited. He'll get a chuckle out of that if he's listening. But So he does that. He's just been playing more, and then he participates in this. It's kind of came out of the Georgia Baptist community thing called Sons of Jubal, and so Jubal Ministries, and so they do really large orchestra sets. I, I'm guessing there were maybe they had the brass section that he's a part of, obviously as a trumpet player. I don't know. There were maybe 40 to 50 brass members, maybe another 30 to 40 strings, and then they had a men's choir about 40 or 50, and then a women's choir about 40 or 50. So yeah, I would guess about 200 or so all in. And so he's been doing it probably the last 7, 8 years at least, but it's always really challenging to go because they mostly do events on the weekdays. You know, like this was on a Thursday night last week, and then it's mostly during the kind of the school year, and it's all around the state of Georgia. But you know, I'm over here in Memphis, so it's a pretty good hike to get to Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
And so we've been trying to figure out just a time to go see them. I think they're doing Opelika, Alabama, in August. So we were looking at that one, but my sister's up in the DC area, and so she and I were coordinating. And so she flew into Atlanta on Thursday, and then I drove over and picked her up, and we surprised my dad to attend. She's been to one before, but this is the first time I'd ever been able to see him in this setting. And man, it was awesome, Butch. I mean, so you know, he kind of had to be up there early for rehearsal and whatnot. So we just drove up there, met my mom, and we get there about 5:30. I think the prelude started at 6:30, and so we were just kind of scouting out. You know, didn't even know where we'd run into him or anything, but we saw him. He was doing some stuff, loading up his truck, and so we were able to get from pretty far away. It was like, well, okay, well, you know, this is. We could tell it was about to be the moment, you know.
Yeah, what's the plan?
Right. And so, you know, we're like, you know, should we go around back and scare him? It's like, well, we don't want to give him a heart attack. You know, that's not a good idea.
Not before his big performance.
Right. And, you know, and then my sister's like, should we record this? And I said, nope. Like, this is just going to be our moment. Like, we're just going to be here to just bask in it, and it's just for us. And so we just kind of walked steadily up. And then as we got closer, he turned his back to us. I mean, it was really perfect. So we were about maybe 10, 15 feet away. And I just said, hey, what time's the concert? And, you know, he's like, whoa, what are you guys doing here? So it was just, it was just one of those, you know, you plan and plan and plan for these moments. But, man, it just worked out perfectly. And he was so excited, just really like, I was not expecting to see you all tonight. And, he just had a great time introducing us to everybody. He's the president of the group, and so I mean he's super involved, and it's really his life's passion at this point. And it was just such a cool time, and just an incredible worship service. I had not, I don't attend a lot of classical music at all. Just I enjoy it. I just don't really kind of attend that type of concert or anything. And it was just a really great worship environment, and it was just really neat to see. They've been doing it 70 years now, so it started a pretty long time ago, and they've kept it going.
Long time.
It was at church Johns Creek Baptist, I think it was, outside of Atlanta, and just a beautiful church, beautiful setting, and man, it was just really, really special time for our family. So it was definitely a fun hog moment, kind of soaked it all up. I'll remember that one forever.
Man, that is awesome. Love hearing that. I mean, one, high five for not busting out the camera and just making it about the internet or whatever. No, this is about you and your team, or you and your family, right? And I think, I don't know, so many people put so much emphasis on what do other people care about, and it's like, no, man, this is for you and your family, and that's special, man. I think more people need to have that mindset change. I think maybe one day it will, but I'm sure we're 15 years away from that. Maybe 10. I don't know. But everything is so much online. Look at this perfect moment. And it's like, well, one, no moment is perfect unless it's fake, but two, like, just be there, be present. Don't worry about your camera angles or your microphone volume or whatever. Like, no, just be present.
Be
That's
real.
awesome.
I like it. Yeah, it is tricky though because it's so fun when people do capture the moments and you get to see it, through that kind of first person kind of shot. I saw there was you're not much of an NBA fan, are you?
I mean, yeah, I watch them a little bit,
Oh,
right?
okay.
The Lakers, they still in it? They still in it?
They're
Lakers and the
not.
Nuggets. I watched a couple of those games.
Okay, yeah, the Lakers got eliminated last. It was just last night, so you're reasonably
Oh,
up on things. But so a
sorry,
couple of
LeBron.
maybe next year. Uh, so a couple of nights ago, Anthony Edwards. So he's the best player on the Timberwolves. A really really good up and coming player. They were in a series with the Suns, which are a little bit of an older team, but they've got three really really good all stars. And it was a tight game, fourth quarter, 2 minutes to go. Timberwolves are up 3-0, so they're trying to eliminate them with a sweep. And Anthony Edwards just jumped out of the gym and just dunked all over the Timberwolves, or sorry, all over the Suns. And I mean, it was incredible. Just obviously sports has great camera angles, but what made me think of it is there were some really cool views from like right behind the bench where it was just somebody with their camera phone. And man, it is
Just
fun when
capture
you
the
get to
moments,
see
but
that.
like, yeah, I mean, did they watch that through the screen though? Like, if they did, man, that's unfortunate. Maybe you share it for other people, but you just missed out on something amazing
Right.
potentially.
No, I hear you. One, and you wonder like, okay, how many people recorded 30 seconds of that game and missed moments because they were fumbling through their phone. I get you. I get you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, today's word is couch. Have you been thinking
Not
about
sofa.
not sofa? No, that's actually a great point. There's some couch wannabes out there like sofa. Is
Not
that
love
a
seat.
yeah? Is couch is this like a geographic anchored term? Like there's like soda and pop and Coke. Is couch? Are there couch and sofa? Are those the same thing?
I, they're not, but I think they are. I think they are in the South. I'll say that because I've never referred to anything as a sofa, but when I go Google online, people are like, "It's a sofa. It's not a
Hmm.
couch. It's a sofa." But
I would use them
so maybe there's something
interchangeably.
to that.
Yeah, I think they feel interchangeable to me. I would also always just strong preference for couch. It feels like pop in the soda world,
Yeah,
like very eclectic kind of.
or Coke. I mean, that's what we say down here. You
It's a
want you want
Coke,
a soda? No, you want a Coke. What flavor Coke do you
yeah,
want?
and it's totally reasonable to say I would like a Mountain Dew. Yeah, I'll have a Coke. Which kind? Oh, Mountain Dew. Totally, yeah. Glad we're on the same page about that. I feel like that one can get heated. I'm glad we didn't have to.
Oh, it will on the internet, but hey, this is our thing.
That's right. Couch makes me think of Couch to 5K.
Okay,
Have
tell
you ever?
tell me about that. You've done this before, right?
I don't know. I think
Or did
the
you
the
skip that whole couch to 5K thing?
I mean, I guess so. I was displeased with my fitness level, and I mean, at some point, I had never really run at all, and then I did get to a 5K. So I guess I did. I don't recall like having a specific program. But I mean, the general idea is that a 5K is approachable for anybody, and so even if you're sitting on your couch doing absolutely nothing with your time, you can you can train yourself to run a 5K, and that'd be a nice little accomplishment. I mean, 5K is 3.1 miles. It's a good solid day's work. So yeah, it's a good accessible. I like the idea of you can start wherever you're at, and you can approach kind of that first level of goal. That's what couches make me think of. Couch to 5K.
Well, let's go ahead and make this thing real here.
Okay.
Let's commit. I'm gonna do a 5K somehow, some way. Maybe it's a 5K that I map out. Maybe it's not a real race or whatever. But I'm gonna run a 5K. You're gonna train me, Matt.
I
You're gonna
love it.
set up my regimen.
I love it. Let's do this. Yeah, I think in general it's like an 8 to 10 week program. Is
Sounds
kind of
good.
the
We
target.
got we have eight. We have what, nine, 7 podcasts left at least.
At least
So
I'm having so much fun on the podcast,
yeah.
Butch.
So
I feel really
five, so
confident we're going to
10.
exceed.
I should be able to run a 5K, right? If I put in the work.
Absolutely.
All right, let's do this. I don't get injured. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
You gotta stay
Yeah.
healthy for
Got to
the
be smart
family.
about it. Man,
All right. Well, it's
wow.
happening.
What a commitment.
Stamp it in the books. Let's do this.
Here on April 30th, 2024, Butch committed to running a 5K.
Here it is. We're gonna do it. Matt's gonna be my trainer. Trainer from afar. So
Yeah, remote trainer. Hey, my running coach was remote the whole time I had one. So it's most about the plan and the accountability, honestly, is the
I think that's important. I need a plan. Like right now, I just run until my legs hurt, and then I try to run a little more.
not a
That's
great
probably
plan.
not the right way.
Not a good plan. Yeah. You know, the simplest thought that has really helped me in my running is just stop before you leave enough in the tank that you would still like to run in the future. You know, and if you're not running every day, whatever, you know, so if it's like, if you go exhaust yourself today and you're kind of miserable, if you throw up, you know, there's a place for that, but you're probably not gonna be like, man, let's do that
It's
again.
not on the road to 5K.
Right. Yeah, that's maybe on the road to, you know, elite high school athlete or something like that. But yeah, the 5K, like it should be straightforward. Do it, enjoy it. If you're feeling injured, I mean that was a big thing for me. I had, you know, some pretty good knee injuries along the way, and the advice I got was like, hey, if your knees hurt, you don't put more braces on. Like, stop. Walk back home and let yourself recover. That's your body's signal, like, this isn't quite it, you know. So
All right. Well, let's do this. Help me through it. I'll commit to putting in the work and the effort and the time.
deal, man. That's incredible. All right,
I'm gonna tell you about couches. I'm
yeah.
gonna tell you about a couch story from my college years.
College couches are probably the best couches, so I'm really excited to hear your story.
Okay, exciting. I mean, when I think about couches, I think about my college days. I did have college couches. I took naps on my college couches. They were very nice. But the specific couches is in plural, was it was an event at our church where our college minister put on a couch race.
A couch race.
A couch race.
I
It
have
was
I don't
amazing.
I have no I can't even imagine. Like, are you racing carrying couches from couch to couch? Like, how does this work?
This works by racing your couch down the parking lot, one end to the other. So, it required some construction or some ingenuity to put some wheels or something that would allow your couch to move at a rather, quick pace if you want to compete. So,
This is like
we show up at this
roller
couch race.
derby. Roller derby meets
Yeah, like roller
couches.
derby. Like,
Okay.
yeah, you
Okay.
get one or two people on, you're gonna push it down, you're gonna have a team. I mean, it was legit. So yeah, I'm pretty sure, memories are fuzzy. As we saw in the turkey vulture video, my memory is not quite all the way there, but details. There's some details that might get messed up. This is the way I remember it. Couch race is announced. There's a lot of hype. We had a table of about 15 or so college kids, 15 or 20, that we decided, hey, we want to enter this thing. We want to win this thing. And we had some engineers. We had, a head Baja coach who was helping engineer stuff. We had somebody who's a doctor now, neurologist. I mean, we had the gamut of
You had the brains, yeah.
social worker to engineer to computer science to all the things. People that Brandon Morgado,
Oh wow.
Pruitt, these people were here, living the dream. Garen, if you're listening, appreciate you, man. But we had two couches. I'm not sure exactly where these couches came from. I think they were donated. We're in college. We're not spending a lot of money on this
Yeah.
thing.
$50 tops.
Yeah, and I'm sure they were donated from one of the families somewhere. But we had these two couches. They'd seen their day. College couches, right? And I go out and we're like, how are we going to get these things to roll? So I'm like, where do you go when you're a cheap college kid and you're looking for hardware? It's not Home Depot. That place is expensive.
Yeah, the casters in particular, the casters are really
They are.
expensive. Yeah.
So we go to Big Lots. That's where we go.
I was thinking the Goodwill store, but Big Lots, okay.
I mean,
I'm
there
following.
was Big Will's. I couldn't. I don't know. Maybe I could have gotten a little more ingenuity there and got that, but I found what I need at Big Lots. I went to Big Lots on one of the hardware aisles. We found these giant wheels that rolled, but it's like it's plastic. It's not metal. It's plastic with like plastic, not tires that are inflated, but just like hard, tread tires. And but I was like, this is gonna work. This is great. We'll just screw these to the bottom. We'll figure out what we need to do so we can push the couch. So, we got the couch in. We took off the cushions. We actually like put a blowtorch or set some of the couch on fire. Cut it up. We made it look like it had gone through some stuff. We got some wood, so we had some like, some bobsled handles, so we could actually push the couch. Slam those casters on there, and we're off to the races. So race day comes. There's probably, I'm guessing maybe 15 contestants. We're two of the 15, right? We had 2 entries, and I'm gonna be honest, I was on the slow team, right? I mean, it is what it is. But I was on the slow team. We kind of had this big white couch, and we had this like smaller brown couch that looked like from the 70s. The ones where you sit on it and like your legs itch and your arms itch because like it's not comfortable.
It's
That's
got
one of those
bed
couch
bugs permanently in it.
Yeah, probably some bed bugs. But we raced these, and we had different heats. And I think the winner of the heats kind of like moved to the side, and then they had one huge race where they like went all the way. Like this was just like a straight thing. They had one race that went all around the parking lot, which kind of like let the lower tiers in. If they made it in the top 2 or 3, they would be in kind of the final couch race. So sadly, the speed was good. Our speedy couch, they made it in the top. They were able to basically make it to the finals. Our white couch, even though we had the speed as far as like rolling, our hardware failed. The wheel basically came off. It's plastic. What are you going to do? Going, it was probably 1,000 yards.
Would you say this is where you learned your first valuable lessons about testing and test automation?
Maybe not automation, but definitely about is this going to hold up in the real world?
Failing to test adequately really leads to catastrophic results. Yeah.
That's right. Thankfully, no one got hurt, but in case, we did have people wearing helmets. So got through this. I will say some of the other like couches were not as like straightforward. We just screwed some casters at the bottom. There was some people that like got bicycle wheels and connected them up. I mean, there was some like legit stuff. One group put a couch on top of a Jeep or an SUV. And they had people like the rule was you had to have somebody sitting on the couch, and you had to be able to push it or pull it. And so the Jeep did not they didn't win, but it was a good chuckle.
Yeah, disqualified for.
Yeah. I mean, they passed because they pulled the Jeep. They like wired up some ropes to it. So I mean, they did technically follow the rules, but it was like you're pulling too much weight. You're not going to get the speed of our speedster couch over here. And I'll just say this: in the end, final race, it was down to our tier 1 couch. They say go, they're off, they win. It was wild. Fun ensues. I've got it all on video.
Oh, great.
We're going to have to add it. It's going to be even better.
That was going to be my next question. We've already railed on people who ruin moments by recording it. I was like, I really hope this is recorded, though, because otherwise...
I did record it. This was recorded on, like, old school video camera. And
Perfect.
We got some, like, clips and some interviews. You'll see some familiar people in this. And, so we're going to post that. It'll be in the show notes. So if you're curious, you want to watch the race of the century, Go check this out. It's great.
I love it. I'm so excited about this. I can't wait. I can't wait to see the real footage. This can be great. Man, what a couch story.
You didn't know that was coming.
Yeah, I don't have that in my arsenal today. I do have a quick fun hug 2 moment. So in episode 1, when we were defining fun hog, we talked about kind of some people from our past that really embodied fun hog. For me, that was Captain Davo, my youth minister. I talked to Captain Davo, so we, yeah, I mean, man, he was such a huge impact on my life, but just kind of had lost touch. You kind of switch cell phone numbers a lot going through those college years and post-college years and whatnot. And so I don't know, just kind of had lost track of him, but found him, LinkedIn. He finally did a good deed on LinkedIn. Thanks LinkedIn for that one. Provided some real meaningful value to my life, and I was able to connect with him. And we had just a great time catching up. So, man, that was cool to reconnect with him. And man, we were just telling stories. He was reminding me all kind of fun stories from basketball days to pranks we played on each other. Good times.
Good stuff. Did he happen to have a couch in his office?
He definitely always had couches in his office. I mean, youth group, I mean, there's always, couches is a big part of your experience. Pretty low quality couches, but comfy, Those are comfy deals.
Some of my favorite moments. I mean, I'll take you back to, early youth. This was after I got the name Butch.
Yeah. Okay.
So where I got the name Butch was actually in this area of our church called the Zone. This was like the kid area. It was basically in the basement of the old church, right? We kind of built a new church sanctuary. This was like the original sanctuary.
They always put the youth in the old building, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, and the walls were like concrete cider, like painted, but it was cool because we had like colors. It wasn't just like white or black. But down in the Zone, we had a plethora of couches. I mean, that's where we sat. It was a U of couches, and there was like a second deck, and basically tiers of couches that you'd come sit, eat your bagel or your donut while we're having Sunday school. And in one of our Sunday school meetings, Mr. Terry Wright is one of our Sunday school teachers. He said, look, some of y'all in this room, one day, some of y'all are going to be married to each other. And we're just all looking like, what are you talking about? You have no idea, man.
Come on, Mr. Terry. Come on.
My wife was there. My wife was. It's crazy. So,
Mr. Terry calling the shot.
Fun times. Yeah, it's real. He predicted the future. I know there's some other folks that were in youth that I don't think they were dating. We weren't dating at the time, but other folks I know that were in that room that were also got married. So it's fun times.
Man, Mr. Terry, I bet he's just enjoying this moment. Yep, he was right. We've got the evidence to show it. Man.
Oh yeah. But good times. So I have a lot of good memories around couches. But yeah, those couches were old, but man, some of them were real comfortable. You could just, we had the leather couches, we had the scratchy couches, but we also had just like, the old, I guess, extra upholstered like rosy couches, the kind you find, probably 80s-ish.
Floral pattern. Like, oh yeah.
It probably smelled like perfume, I mean, yeah. Great stuff. Man, we had the one big couch memory that comes to mind for me was my childhood home. We had an orange couch. I mean, it was, my parents were products of the 70s, and I mean this was your 70s orange. I don't have a broad fabric vocabulary, but it was very memorable fabric. I don't really know how to describe it very well, but I love this couch. It was always, it was never like our primary, like it was always it's kind of the side.
Yeah, side like wherever like the downstairs, the basement. It was wherever I was allowed to watch TV.
Where the kids were, the kids' couch.
Yeah, it was the kids' couch. But man, it was so comfy. It was a sleeper couch. I just loved it. And I didn't actually grow up a Clemson fan, so I didn't have this deep affinity for the color orange. I don't recall until going to Clemson, but I tried to get my mom to let me take it to Clemson because it would have been, I mean, it
That
would
would
have
have
been
been
the
over. Yeah.
coolest couch there. But I think it's because my freshman year, yeah, we ended up. It was a long story, but anywho, we didn't end up
You
getting
had
to
to stay
take
in the
it.
dorm or something. Yeah.
Well, I didn't, but I don't. Mom made a good decision and didn't let me take the couch. Right? Like, I mean, it never would have come back. But she ended up reupholstering it, and it was a bit of a. I had a little moment, I didn't realize I had such strong feelings towards the couch, but she redid it in like denim or something. I was like, "You ruined the couch! Like what on earth? Like why'd you
Can
do
you
this?"
unupholstery something? Is that a thing?
I
Should Google that. I bet it's a
yeah,
thing. I
I
bet you
can
could strip all that stuff off.
I bet Abigail would know. I'm sure you could, but so we had a cat, a tabby cat, growing up, Callie, and she used it as like her clawing perch, and so she had clawed it. I mean,
As denim or as the orange stuff?
the orange stuff.
Orange.
Mom
Okay,
redid it. I think it was while I was in college. She redid it,
gotcha.
and I came back to their house and was like, "Ah, what'd you do to the couch?"
What'd you do?
I'm sure they had told me about it, but man, it is funny how couches just create these. Man, just they when you get the cushions just right, man, they're perfect.
It's good. All right. Are you a? Have you ever been on a couch where you can lay all the way out and your foot's not on the footrest or anything like
Yeah,
that, but you can? That's the dream.
yeah. So
I mean,
we
it's hard finding couches like that.
yeah, Abigail, my wife, uh, recently, I don't know, maybe a year ago now, but we switched out couches. We had brown leather couches, which I thought we had reached the pinnacle of couches with brown leather couches, but she always hated them. I mean, these things had recliners, they had cup holders. I mean, it was premium man couch, and she wanted to replace it. Thankfully, I still have the premium man couch in the man cave, but
Nice.
she replaced it with I don't know, kind of big L-shaped couch. And at
Yeah.
first, I was like, "Why'd we do this?" But you can lay completely flat on it, and man, it's a great way to take a nap right
It's
there.
the dream. It's the
Yeah,
dream, man.
yeah.
Tell me about your most uncomfortable couch.
Most
Do you have
uncomfortable.
do you have a memory of just a couch or something being super uncomfortable?
I had, it wasn't mine. It was a friend of mine's growing up, Steven, and his couch, man,
Hey,
you would just
Steven.
sit, yeah, you would just sit on it. You're like, oh, just like, it just, like as soon as you sit down, like, sure, if you spend like an hour on a couch, your back always kind of hurts. It's like, okay, I should probably get up and do something. But I mean, this thing was like, you just sat down for 30 seconds and, whew, it was the worst couch. Yeah.
I'll say my story. It was actually at my cousin's house, and you tell me the ruling. A futon. Is that
Ooh,
can you say that?
I have sat on some nasty futons
I mean, this is a futon
where
that
the rails like
the
bleed through.
rails. And I mean, growing up, I mean, this was like when I was in middle school, high school. I mean, I still wasn't like, I was a pretty big guy. And, that was where I was sleeping at night. So, you lay down and every move, it's just, I feel the rails. I mean, the mattress is only this thick and it's like pillow that you push and your finger goes
Mm,
down, not like super thick. So, Brandon Wiggins, man, I love you. I remember that being the worst sleep I ever got, the most uncomfortable I've ever been sleeping on the couch. I should have moved to the floor. That was my fault. That was on me.
man, sleeping on the floor was pretty bad too, though. I mean, phew, man, yeah,
But I bet it would
futons.
have been better if I moved the cushion just to the floor. I'd have been fine. I bet it would have been
Yeah,
fine.
man,
You ever have any friends or yourself an inflatable couch? Have you seen
I've
these?
I've never even seen an inflatable couch.
Yeah, there are inflatable couch. I mean, this was like in the '90s when I was growing up. I'm pretty sure the place you bought them was like Spencer's. Do you ever know about
Mm,
Spencer's?
That was like the gift store
It was that store that your mom doesn't really want you to go in. It
yeah.
has some kind of questionable areas. Um, but as like a young teen or preteen, you know, that's where you go buy your inflatable couch.
It's
Now,
where all the
I didn't
bad
have
bad
one.
kids in the youth group went on youth trips.
Yeah. So you go to the mall for your lunch and somebody sneaks off to Spencer's.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, Spencer's is a store that used to be in malls. Maybe it's still there. I don't know, but
Are
it
malls?
has.
Are there still malls even?
There's still some malls that exist.
Couldn't tell
There's
you.
malls around here. I mean, a lot of them are outdoors, but these are indoor malls.
Yeah.
But I can think of at least one in
Malls aren't
Birmingham.
dead. Okay, you heard it here.
They're almost dead, but there's still some there. I think Spencer's may be dead. I don't know,
I feel
but
like there's like newspapers and then there's like malls. Like in the like
it's like next. It's coming next.
yeah.
But yeah, that's where you go buy your inflatable couch, and is typically purple. That so it was like activated by black lights and neon posters and stuff. So
I dig
but
it.
there was one kid down the street that he had kind of his room that was like black lights, and he had one of those inflatable couches, and yeah, I sat on it once. He also had like incense burning all the time. Is one of those kids.
Did he have a lava lamp?
I don't know for sure. He
Oh
probably
man.
did, but there were definitely, he had all the different posters with different like skulls that like lit up in black lights, and you turn on the lights and it like looks semi-normal. It was cool. I was like taken aback by it as a youngster, riding my bike over to this place, but it was also one of those like, I sat on that couch once. It was not very comfortable, and
Yeah.
it made a lot of squeaking noises
Yeah.
anytime you moved. But it was great. I'll send you a picture.
Feels like a good like Nintendo 64 couch. You're playing a little GoldenEye or Mario Kart or something.
Yeah.
Hmm. When was the last time you slept an entire night on the couch?
That would be probably 6 months ago, maybe. Now,
Was this like you were in trouble? Like you got to.
somewhat tricking. We have a couch that has two recliners. So I did sleep in one of the recliners one night when I got real sick and like my head needed to be elevated, and I had that humidifier just like going right next to me. So that was like probably the last time I slept overnight. Taking a nap on a couch is a different story.
Yeah.
It's like 4 weeks ago. So
Same, yeah. I'm big on big team nap. Yeah, I haven't. It's been a long time since I spent the entire night on the couch. The last time I can remember was when my oldest son was born, 12 years ago, almost 13 now. Where we were at the hospital. I probably
hospital
slept.
couches.
I probably did that with all the boys.
Those are the
actually,
worst.
it was probably 7 years ago. Yeah, man, they do not invest much in the. I mean, it's tough to complain. Like you're just the dude. You're there for moral support and holding hands and. Yeah, but man, they did not. Those hospital couches, not
It's
great.
no good. It's no good.
We had in college, Abigail, her roommates had a Papazon, and that was the.
Papasan.
What is it?
I have no idea what that is.
Wow, it's like the futon. It's like a couch adjacent deal. So it's a circle chair with just a big poofy cushion in it. Man,
It sits on like a circle, and you can kind of move it around.
right? Yeah.
What is that called again?
Papazon, Papasan.
I don't even know what I'd call that. I'd call that like a half circle chair. I don't know. Papasan. We're gonna
Yeah.
try that. We're
Try
gonna try to use those
Papazon next
words.
time. Yeah. Man, I have some great memories listening to Jack Johnson and reading books in the Papazon. So I had this deep affinity for them, and I purchased one when we lived in Charleston, and it just didn't live up to I think it's like the futon. It's an essential part of your college memory, but it really should just stay in college. Don't try to carry that on with you.
Very nice.
What
Very
features do
nice.
you look for in a couch? Like, are you want cup holders in the couch? Or are you you want a side table? What's your big recliner guy? What are you?
I want in a couch what my wife wants on a couch.
Wise
Pretty
man.
easy. Like I'm easy to please. It's bonus points if you can lay all the way out, right? Without being on the footrest or the armrest. If you can lay all the way out, just like couches here, lay from head to toe. That's a big plus. But again, that's hard to find unless you're going, you know, L shape or a sectional type couch. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really that picky, man. Like I want to be able to be supported and
Yeah, nice firm couch.
yeah. So as long as you can get in and out of it pretty easy, it's all good. I will say, like, we've got lazy boy couches. I'm not selling lazy boy couches. I think their quality's actually gone down, but ours were actually pretty decent quality. At least that's what the repair guy said when he came out and repaired it. But they come with like a warranty, so we actually had to cash in on that because our kids, we got a 16-year-old, and when they get upset and there's a couch nearby, they just jump up and just, oh, I'm upset. Or let me, like, so many times just, sit gently on your couch. Like, that didn't register. So
Yeah,
lots of jumping on the couch, and it like, the back brace, like, it sunk in. So, like, when you sat down, the part that used to be connected to the back hit the floor. So it was a very uncomfortable couch, but Lazy Boy came through. I paid a small amount. They sent a guy out here, and he took it apart and fixed it all back together. And we had a nice conversation. So,
that's great to hear. There's still businesses that do right by that. Everybody has their money back guarantee and all this now, but it feels like more of a gimmick to get you to spend your money because they know most people won't take you up on it.
oh,
So
they still have gimmicks. Yeah, don't ever sign up for the whole fabric. Hey, pay an extra $150 for the fabric treatment that's gonna
yeah,
give you guarantee that stains will never stick or whatever. Like, that's fake. We paid for it once, never again.
you were bamboozled on the couch
We were
fabric.
bamboozled, 100%.
Love it. I unrelated to couches, just hard right turn. I was able to play in a golf tournament yesterday, which was a lot
Oh,
of
buddy.
fun. I'm not much of a golfer, but we did great. We shot 8 under as a team, thanks to some really solid teammates. But I was thinking, it's just really fun to have a tournament, right? This was a fundraiser. We just brought together all these people and we played golf, and you know, I've been really looking forward to this for the last several weeks. There's a chance of rain. I was going to be really
Yeah.
disappointed if it rained, but thankfully
What,
the
what,
rain
what
held
was
up.
the fundraiser for?
It's
Anything
a
exciting?
local school my nieces and nephews go to, Westminster.
Nice.
So it was their school annual fundraiser. But I was thinking, it's just fun to have tournaments. Your crazy kickball. I was reading that. I was thinking, man, what would a fun hog tournament look like?
Fun Hog Golf Tournament?
I don't think we would. I think golf's great, right? I'm actually getting into it a little bit more. I don't think maybe a fun hog disc golf tournament, maybe a multi-sport, maybe a disc golf, ultimate, and regular golf and putt putt. I think that's what it would be. Maybe like a 5-way tournament, maybe dodgeball throw in there.
Yeah, I mean, so some of those are like individual sports and some are team sports. So you have to like, I feel like it'd have to all be a team sport that you can figure out, or all just individual sports, right? So,
Oh
but I also feel like each one would need its own spin, right? I mean, you
yeah.
couldn't just do dodgeball. You'd have to do crazy dodgeball. What does that look like?
What if we had like the first ever fun? Let's just imagine, just dream with me for a second here, Butch. If we had the
Put my dreaming hat on.
Fun Hog Family Weekend, and just all the Fun Hog families come together, and we just have multiple tournaments going on. Just different levels of sports. Some team, some individual, some a little bit kind of more serious, competitive, some absolutely off the rails, goofy. I think it could be something. So You've
Could be
committed to
something.
running a 5K already on this episode, so I don't want to overcommit us
Yeah,
to kind of more
we
things.
can't we
This
can't
one's just gonna
overcommit.
this one's gonna stay
We,
in the dream idea, cool ideas. But
the
the thing
dream
that
drawer.
the
Let's
dream
call it the
drawer,
dream drawer.
I like that. Yeah, we'll keep it in there for now. But the wheels are starting to spin. Like I think it's just a lot of fun to have something you're anticipating in the future. I was hitting golf balls, chips in the backyard the other day, trying to get ready for my tournament, and it's like, what am I doing? This is crazy.
I mean, I think there's something to that though. There is a lot of fun in just expecting, you know. And I'm sure there's like a whole science behind it, but just from experience, like waiting is a part of the fun. Like I've even, experienced things where waiting and just anticipating something to be, you know, something that I'm going to enjoy is almost just as good as doing that thing.
Yeah,
I've
kind
had
of.
situations where I've had to say, I'm expecting this, I'm anticipating this. Boom, something comes up. I can't do this, but it was like I actually wouldn't trade the anticipation because it was like still great. Something to talk about and something to plan for. So I think there's something to that
Yeah, yeah. We may have to probe that a little bit more in a future episode.
in the future. Yeah,
Any closing thoughts before we sign off for today?
I got nothing. We will have a word next week, but you will not know the word today.
It's a secret word.
It's a
What
secret
if
word.
what if secret is the word? Huh?
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. All right.
All right.